What to do when the rear brake lever starts sticking on Mike's FJR Corner. Welcome to Mike's FJR Corner. Today we're going to be working on the rear foot brake. I have a problem where the lever stays down and doesn't return back. I temporarily sprayed it out with some silicone, which did free it up. However, I want to pull the shaft here and re-grease it with some grease. Having the lever stick down causes two problems. One is when the lever sticks down, the rear brake light stays on. So I wind up having to, after I press the brake, take my foot underneath and lift it up. And two, it causes heat on the rear rotor. So we want to make sure we get this fixed, and let's get started. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the position of this shaft and the lever. Now, there's already a mark here. There's a little dimple, and there's a little dimple here, but it was a little bit off from each other, so I know it's a little bit to the left, but I just wanted to make a second mark just to have a verification, so it just goes on easier. Next, I'm going to take my 10mm ratchet and loosen the bolt on the lever. Take the bolt all the way out and slide the lever off the shaft. Let's cover up this nice new exhaust with a towel to prevent any damage. With a 9mm Allen, remove the rear set bolts here and here. With the rear set loose, slide it out from behind the frame and set it to the side. With a small screwdriver, carefully unfold the cotter pin on the back of the pin. Once the cotter pin is straight, remove the cotter pin, remove the washer, and remove the pin. Now carefully slide the shaft off of the lever, slide the lever down, and push it out. And remove the shaft from the springs. Now clean the parts in your favorite degreaser. I'm using a combination of a degreasing soap and water. You could use a brake cleaner or a cart cleaner. I'm using a combination of the soap and a stiff brush. And try to get all the dirt off and get the part completely clean. Do the same thing for the brake lever. Now that we have the parts clean, we're going to clean the lower section with a degreaser and a rag. Okay, now that everything's all cleaned up, I'm going to take this synthetic grease and coat the shaft. The synthetic grease is resistant to water, and it should work well. I'm going to take the synthetic grease and liberally coat the shaft part and also fill this groove with grease. Do that all the way around. Take a little bit of lube, place it inside the shaft here. Okay. And take and slide the shaft through the back and rotate around until we get to the lever. Wipe my fingers off. Wipe any excess. Now that we've wiped off any excess grease, I'm going to take a little bit of grease and coat the spring ends. Just lightly coat them. And place the spring through the hole. And up into the frame. Take the spring for the brake switch, lightly coat the spring at the U and slide that through its hole. Make sure the springs are routed correctly, that the switch spring is clear from the frame and that they're routed through their appropriate holes, the heavy spring being in the hole closest to the shaft and the brake spring is the next hole out. Lightly lubricate the pin with some grease. Slide the pin into the assembly. Get it all the way through. Take the washer, put it on the back side of the pin, and slide a new cotter pin in through the back. Once the cotter pin's in place, fold the ends of the cotter pin around the shaft. Place the assembly behind the frame and install the bolt. Install the lower bolt. Torque both bolts to 159 inch-pounds. Slide the foot lever back onto the shaft, aligning the alignment marks. The two marks are right here. Slide the bolt in and lightly tighten. Check for proper operation. Check that the brake light comes on when it just starts to compress the brake. While I'm here, I'm going to inspect the rear brake. I can't see physically the brake myself, so I have this little tool from eBay. It's a little wand with a camera in the end. It plugs into the phone, and it's fairly inexpensive on eBay. So I'm going to reach in and I'm going to look at the brake, and let me flip it around so it's the right orientation. Alright, well, that brake is not too bad. It's a little bit thinner than the width of the plate. So that actually doesn't look too bad. Okay, that seems like... Can't quite tell. It seems a little bit thinner on the outside. Okay, so that will probably be my next video, changing the rear brakes. They look kind of okay right now, so I could probably go a little further. But at some point this fall, I'll wind up having to do the rear brakes. Well, this concludes this episode of Mike's FJR Corner. If you like this video, click on the thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to ring that bell. And again, I thank you for watching, and goodbye.